shooting. The Catholic Supply, we released a few updates throughout the day of an update on the suspect description. We got a little bit more detail of the clothing. I'm sure you guys saw that. As of that description, there really isn't much more to it as of right now, unfortunately. Obviously, a tragic situation. We released the name of the victim that was shot and killed during the incident. But really, we've been working tips all day. Our detectives have been working 24 hours, almost 24 hours now, and we've got a lot of resources going at it. And so any tips from the public, with that new updated clothing information, please just call in. You're not wasting our time, and we want any tip out there that can lead to an arrest.
You got a lot of tips so far?
Yeah, we've been working them nonstop. A lot of them through Crime Stoppers, a lot of them just phone calls in general, and that's exactly what we need. We just need the public's help on this one.
When it comes to the better description of the suspect, is that a case of once the people who are in that business get a chance to calm down?
That's exactly right.
Give us an idea of how that process works.
Yeah, so obviously you get a sexual assault that happens inside a store that leads to a shooting, that leads to a homicide. Obviously, that was probably a very stressful incident that those people went through in that store. So for us to get the initial description out, it's obviously going to get better as that goes on with like I said, the victims and the witnesses that are cooperating with us of getting us, and they're remembering things that happened this morning after all this kind of calmed down, and that's why that description got a little bit more detailed, oriented, and more information came out as it goes on, and it may come out more. We just don't know. We just got to pretty much take it hour by hour on that one, and if anything leads to an arrest or anything like that, or if we get surveillance video or a picture or anything, believe me, you guys will be the first ones that we contact on this one.
Is there any surveillance video at all?
Not that we know of. If we ever get surveillance video on this one, it's going to be released immediately, just because we don't have any information on who this person is. So, like I said, they're working on any type of video or surveillance photo or tips or anything that can lead to who the suspect is.
Still believe there's no connection, there's no relationship at all between.
That's exactly right. Usually, you guys have been around for a while, and we've been on these types of things. Usually, there's a connection with these types of sexual assaults and even shootings. And right now, there's still no clear cut of who this person was and why this person was in that store at that time.
Should there residents in that area be concerned, on alert, businesses?
I said last night, that's a tough one that happened last night with this whole stranger aspect, and there's just cause of concern of sexual assault happened with stranger, and then a shooting happened on top of that led to a homicide. So I just want people to be alert, when they're in stores or just paying attention to where they're at and this description that we're given. Maybe even go back in your memory yesterday on that busy area and see if you remember anything of someone that looked like that or was dressed like that, and just give us a call on what time that was or where you saw them at or anything, because that leads to maybe that person was other places throughout the day dressed like that, and that can lead to a surveillance photo or surveillance video in a different store, before the event happened or even after the event happened. So those types of things, that's why we release those details whenever we have them, when we don't know who this person is. That way it helps people that were maybe not even in that area but saw that person maybe 10 minutes down the road or after the event, after it happened. So non-life threatening. We just got to take this one case by case. So
a lot of resources.
A lot of resources, yes. Like I said, this happened last night, and we've got officers that have been working pretty much nonstop on that one.
We saw officers with a clipboard writing down the license number.
All right, everybody, we've been listening in on St. Louis County, Missouri, updating us on two stories there, an officer-involved shooting that just happened today, and then yesterday's Catholic supply store shooting. Just want to let you know really quickly, authorities say a woman killed inside that religious supply store in suburban St. Louis was a customer. Police identified the victim as 53-year-old Jamie Schmidt of House Springs. Police there were searching for the gunman who sexually assaulted at least one woman and shot Schmidt in the head. She later died at a hospital. The shooting happened around 3:15 p.m. at the Catholic supply store of St. Louis in western St. Louis County near the town of Baldwin. Police still looking for that man described as 5'7" with a heavy build, and are saying he should be considered armed and dangerous. It's not clear why the store was targeted, and McGuire, that's the spokesman there, didn't know if it's a religious affiliation is a factor. Of course, we'll continue to follow both stories for you here on News Now, which is part of Fox10Phoenix.com, because that's